Okay guys, hope you're well. If I asked you what is the job of a trader, I wonder what your response would be. Now, I did put this in the community, and I'll show you in a second. But I'd be very curious what you'd all have to say about this. So drop it in the comments and see if you agree with me, disagree with me, or what your own interpretation is. Now, for me, if you ask what is the job of a trader, I would say it's to find repeatable edges, execute it with discipline, and protect the capital so those edges play out. That would be my definition of a trader. Because ultimately it's a job with a series of tasks inside it. But that would be a basic job description. Now let me just show you something. Now, some of the answers here are along those kind of rule sets. You know, top one, stick to your trading plan, no excuses, no exceptions. Correct. But in order to have your plan, you have to have thought about it in the first place. Okay. Make money and outperform the bank. Yes. Your job is to outperform the bank. Otherwise, let the bank do the work in the first place. Want to trade money, but I understand you've got to take out what the market's willing to give. So is that an edge by reading the criteria that's in front of you? Have a good understanding of risk management. Yeah. They're all little segments. And then you come down to Jack, buy a green Lamborghini and attract chicks. Well, I don't particularly like Lamborghinis. I think they're a terrible car. It's got to be Range Rovers and Mercedes, my friend. And attract chicks. Well, I've got a big car and a sexy wife, so pretty much done my job there. And then wait for the market to show their entry criteria and trade accordingly. Okay. Now, let's take this one a little bit further, because there's a little chap that I speak to on a regular basis, which is Kip. A little salute to you, my son. And this one's about the DAX. So, it's been flat. Reason, trades the NASDAQ. What's my viewpoint? Well, all the indices are high at the moment. And they're very uncertain. It's an uncertain market. So, as a trader in this point of view, my job would be to mitigate risk. So what that means is I'll look at it each hour and I'll trade within the hour to only take what it's willing to give, because if it decides to run, I've had it. And that's kind of what I'm going at here. So when you're putting on your little hat about what is a trader, the trader wears many hats. You know, if you're an institutional trader, you've got a risk manager behind you. You've got an analyst that sits next to you. You've got somebody that does the news for you. You've got lots of helps. But us as a retail trader, we have to do it all. We do it all ourselves. So where should I go with this? I think what you have to do is ultimately become a time manager. Allow yourself certain lots of time per day to do a certain job. So if you're doing your pre-analysis, you're the analyst. So that's what you do. You come in, you put your analyst head on, and you look at the market to see where it's roughly going to go. When it's time to go to market, before you get there, you need to be a risk manager. So you set out your parameters of how much this trade is going to cost versus how much it's willing to reward. So you do that. And then the final hat you put on is the trader. And the trader is the guy who actually presses the button. So you're actually multiple jobs in one. Strange way of looking at it. But what do you think a trader is? Is it somebody just to make money? Or is it somebody to follow a process? To me, I would say it's following a process. I'm not bothered about the money side of it. The money doesn't interest me in the slightest. And I'll tell you for why. It corrupts the trade. So you're not a trader anymore. You're a gambler. But if you follow the process and the money is the outcome of that process, now you are a trader because you're trading a repeatable edge. Hope that makes sense. I mean, when I do these little snippet videos, they're more just to get you to think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now, most people think they just come to chart, press a couple of buttons, and they're going to be rich. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of people that have very well paid jobs hate the job. They absolutely hate it. Then they feel trapped because of the money. Well, money is, as many people say, the root of all evil. Or as in my saying, money will see you out. It will show the true person. Now, it will amplify your greed. It will amplify your fear. So you've got to be able to take the money away from your trading decision and then do it focused. Now, you can have other people that have a job that are very well paid and love their job, but they didn't go into it to make money. They went into it because they love it. Take an actor or a singer. They love to perform. And if they make it to the top, they get paid incredibly well. A footballer loves to play football. Then they get paid very well if they do okay. Same with a golfer. But you can take it into everyday work. There's something there. Now, this was made by Danny. And I have it on my desk all the time. But that is a perfect piece of craft. You know. And it's turned and made into this from a piece of wood. So the woodworker didn't really go in it for the money. Loved creating something. Wow. Well, I've got two of these.
You said you wanted to do that?
Yeah. Winky's on fire today. I've got two coffees. I've got one here and I've got one here. That's because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. And he doesn't care how much the coffee cup costs. Because she tells me off all the time. Because apparently the cost of living is moving up, boys and girls. But what I'm getting at is that's a craft. And you learn that skill because you love it. And you love what comes out of it. Likewise, if you're a sculptor or an artist, you love the dream, the process, everything. I do. I love my job. I love coming into the market and trying to take it on and understanding the waves and everything. The money's just the byproduct of what I do. And that's it. And talking of byproducts, actually I'm shocked. What? She isn't shopping. Well, actually she's been out shopping. Did you buy what you wanted? No. I mean round 2 then, is it?
No.
Okay. No, she's nosing on Facebook today, boys and girls. She is nosy. You know, typical woman. I always want to know what everybody else is doing. Normally what I'm doing and then get wrong for it. So, tell me in the comments what you think. I'd be interested. Are you in it for the money or are you in it for the process and you love what's doing? But there's a parting thing. What I will say is if you're in this for the money, this industry will chew you up and eat you alive. I've seen it happen to so many people over the last 20 years. It can be incredibly destructive, this industry, but it can also be incredibly wonderful as long as you've got the right frame. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.